Hello colleagues, today we're talking about physician burnout and the 6 major causes of it that can result in a storm in our life, in a whirlwind that can just feel like it's very, very difficult to control our circumstances. So I'm excited to talk about these 6 major categories of stress, not because it's exciting, it's a great topic that we all want to dwell on, certainly not, because we weren't given a spirit of fear. We were given a spirit of courage to be able to take our life circumstances and turn them into something good, something beyond our fear, something that we can have impact over and influence over so we can help change the paradigms that need to change in our lives. And that's what we're going to talk about today. So here are the 6 major categories of burnout that cause stress for most healthcare workers. There's many, many others, of course, but these are kind of categorized to make our conversation a little easier. And we'll go through each of these individually. The first one is the very fact that we went into healthcare. There's so many things that we didn't know we were getting ourselves into. The volatility, the uncertainty, the complexity, not only just of our day-to-day conquering of the knowledge and doing the right thing at the right time for the right people, but just how much it's changed, how fast it's changed. I mean, this whole COVID paradigm is a tremendous example of that. And when it's so overwhelming, as we've seen, it can seem very ambiguous and it feels very, very out of control. And that's how we feel like we're in this whirlwind. We're spinning around. Our whole organization, as you can see in the image there, just feels out of control. And that is the prime factor that leads to burnout. The second is our physician programming. How we got into medical school, super competitive just to get in. And then, the whole medical school scene, the intense training we went through, and in residency, and fellowship and the whole thing. We were trained unconsciously, I don't think purposely, but just because of the things that are required to succeed in our world. We were trained to be workaholics, superheroes, control our emotions in the most stressful situations because we have to be the leaders, and often that leaves us feeling very alone. We're autonomous lone rangers. We have to have all the answers. We can't show weakness. We're going to be team players. We're going to get her done. We're going to be the last one to close this shop down because we're going to contribute and pull our weight. We're going to be perfectionistic at it all the way through, and we just never turn it off. I mean, we're like this Energizer superhero bunny that never has an off switch. I mean, who doesn't take their work home with them in some form or another, right? We all do. Even though we say we're not going to, we can't help ourselves. It's just how we're made, how we're wired. The third stress, of course, is that intense medical training we all went through, as we mentioned. And there were 2 primary medical directives. Not only the training program, the curriculum itself we had to get through, which takes 3 to 6 years or more, and maintaining all those superhero traits and the bulletproof, I got this kind of mentality, but we were also taught that the patient comes first. The triple aim, a concept that we can't seem to escape, even though the quadruple aim came into effect in late 2016, 2017, and the Surgeon General actually apologized for completely leaving the healthcare people out of the equation. They were so focused on the patient comes first, population health, and reduce costs, they sort of forgot about the healthcare workers themselves. Like, there was no consideration of our needs and what was important to us, and that is what led to a lot of difficulties, in addition to lots of other things that we'll get to next. So the fourth specific stressor category, shall we say, of burnout is our own specific jobs. Everybody's in a different situation. Our individual needs are different. The organizations we join are different. But there are some things that are kind of common throughout the entire process, which is we want to find the right fit. We want to fit in with their culture and what their mission, vision, values, and strategic plans are. And we want to join them, but they also have to be welcoming and open arms to what we bring to the table. It's a two-way street. It's a relationship that, if it doesn't go well, it's bound to fail right from the get-go. Raise your hand if you've been in a situation where that fit wasn't there, even despite everything you did. All the hoops you thought, all the tick boxes, all the checklists, all the motivational interviewing techniques you've ever learned. You thought you had it, but still didn't. And you're just looking at yourself like, how could I mess this up? How could we have gone so wrong? Similarly, how do we create that ideal practice, that job description that's going to help us get to a healthy work-life balance? Were you able to negotiate a fair contract for yourself, the benefits package? Do you feel like you got fair and equitable treatment of your job description, your responsibilities, whether it's call or leadership or whatever? Do you feel like it was equitable across everyone in your department? Or was there some favoritism? Was there some nepotism? Were there some things that just rubbed you wrong from the get-go and you couldn't be trusted? Was your onboarding done appropriately so that you felt like you were part of the team right at the get-go? Or did you feel like you had to earn your stripes? You had to prove that you were good enough to contribute, to be at that meeting, to say what needed to be said, to bring your suggestions forward. And if you did bring them, whether they felt welcome or not, were they acknowledged? Were they received? Were they appreciated? Did you get credit for what you brought to the table at all? Again, if we don't have our basic needs met as professionals, it makes it really tough to want to continue in that role, in that organization, or in medicine at all. So it's more than just, oh yes, the EMR drives me crazy, and all the administrative tasks are prior auths, and I don't have time for this, that, and the inefficiencies. It's all of it. It's all this whole circle of categories that you may or may not even realize that you were being affected by. So we're gonna touch on all of them. So don't worry. And there's two whirlwinds on this page, just because it's not just about you as the physician. The administrators, the leaders, whether it's you or someone else, we're all in a whirlwind, each and every one of us. The administrators as burned out as the physicians and nurses. It's been quite a decade we've been through. It only got accelerated greatly with the COVID pandemic, but we were in it before that started. We all know that. Is your system so rigid? Is there such a hierarchy? Is there hypocrisy present that you feel like you're under the authority of some dictatorship, and there's nothing that upsets us more than that? Where the leader says one thing and does another. The mission, vision, values, and strategic plan are on the wall, and you talk about them at meetings, but that's not what we're really doing. And okay, we have an idea what quality care looks like, which may be completely different from meaningful use or paper performance and all that. And yet your quality team feels like all you have to do is massage the numbers and make it look good, where you're not living that. And you can't live within your own activity, because the rest of your team, you're not on the same page, you're not aligned, you're not providing the care you know you should be providing. Yet you don't have the influence, you don't have the voice to really change that paradigm. Boy, that gets tough. You feel like you joined the organization based on what you believe to be their mission, vision, values, and strategic plan, yet that's not really what you found, and that's why people leave. They join it thinking that the fit is there, but if the leadership isn't carrying and walking that out on a daily basis, it's not going to be a successful match. And lastly, if your leadership is as we've described, it leads to burnout, not just in physicians, in everyone across the whole organization. Raise your hand if you've seen that. That is very stressful, very sad for not only the people who work in that organization, but the patients, your community who relies on you, who needs that care. So we know that the lower you rate your boss, the higher your burnout score. But remember, it's not just about you. The physicians, the nurses, everyone on the team, they're each in their own whirlwind. But the administrators and leaders are too. So we have to have compassion, not just for ourselves. We can't just think about ourselves. We got to think about everybody on the team. We're going to talk a lot about team building in the program. Personality styles, motivational styles, conflict styles, change management, how you deal with change, all of it, because it's all involved in how we can get along together as a team. It's very exciting stuff. I can't wait to show you. Lastly is our work-life balance. That's a big buzzword. We all know what that is supposed to mean, but how are you doing it? Most of us think it's mostly related to our work, but oftentimes there are huge problems at home that may be overflowing into the workplace, vice versa, both going on at the same time. We may have issues with our spouses or our significant others, the children, our parents, extended family members, our own health, our own wellness. Maybe we've fallen into an illness ourselves and don't have the time, the ability, the wherewithal to deal with it appropriately. The fitness thing probably fell by the wayside a long time ago. So, because we're so servant-minded, we tend to drop our own self-care first. We don't leave very much or any time for our own free time, for our own food, personal care. Finances become strained. Family relations get strained. Spiritual life goes out the door pretty quickly as well, and then we're just a hot mess. So in summary, this whole culture of 6 stressors that lead to burnout is contributing to a healthcare crisis that we may not be able to get out of very soon. Very, very concerning. And if you're in an organization that tends to ignore the physician's basic energy needs, doesn't have a physician wellness program, just kind of has the attitude of suck it up, buttercup, we're all in this together, stop your whining, etc. That's not going to work. On top of all the high patient care complexity issues, all the tragedy, the death, the loss we've seen in the last few years, you may have a leadership role on top of that, all while suppressing your emotions and trying to keep yourself under control. What's it result in? A traumatized, morally injured physician. So as you can see, these 6 categories of stress that lead to burnout, it denies our humanity. It blocks our ability to see burnout in ourselves, let alone help anybody else, including our patients, because we're not hiding. We're not hiding at all. We're not hiding as much as we think we are, and there's lots of statistics about that now. So we find ourselves in this whirlwind of insanity, known as Einstein's insanity trap, and that's what we're going to talk about in the next video. Einstein's insanity trap, and how to get out of that whirlwind, because the chaos and the strength of that whirlwind is going to continue to act on you all day, every day. It robs you of your focus, of new things you need to do to set new goals, to move yourself forward. So we need to learn how to deal with this appropriately. And not very many of us got those skills in training. So I'm here to help with that, because it's taken me over 2 decades to gather this knowledge together. And I hope I can present that to you in a way that can shorten your learning curve, get you moving forward in a way that's valuable, and you can apply to not only yourself, but your team and your entire organization. So let's stand up, stand out together. Colleagues, we need to do this. If you'd like to learn more, go to standupstandoutdocs.com. I look forward to meeting you.